Hello and welcome back to the Hollywood Actors Guide to Surviving the Film and Television Industry. This is your host, Jennifer Lynn Warren, coming at you out of Los Angeles. Let's talk about acting. Let's talk about the collective construct of acting. What do I mean? I mean the give and take of energy and intent and understanding between you and your audience. Whether that is the camera you're using to audition or perform for, the casting director, your scene partner, your reader, etc. Great actors, you know what? I know there's this whole thing about method acting and actors, quote, losing themselves in their roles and forgetting that they're a character. I think, especially having done a lot of mindfulness meditation, that's absolutely BS. I think there are moments of kind of transcendence where that can occur, but I think that only happens when an actor is willing to be aware of the audience, whether that is the camera, the casting director. So when I refer to audience here on out, I can mean the camera, the casting director, the reader, or like even a theater audience. So audience. When you as an actor are aware that you are manipulating the audience and that you hold all the power, then that sort of transcendence can happen. But it can only happen when there's no expectation. That means it helps when the audience doesn't have much of an expectation, but they always are going to in the audition room, but they are hoping that you change their expectation. So you as an actor, therefore, have to go in with no expectation. That includes no expectation of booking the role. All you need to go in with is generous engagement of your soul, of your intent, of your character. Because when obligation dissolves, obligation to do it, quote, right, to book the role, the actor is then given space and permission to just be and become and to play. And that is what they want. So play with this. Play with, instead of trying to be super method at first and just disappearing into the role, try playing with being super aware of your audience and your camera and your reader and the casting director and the effect that you are having on them, because you want to affect them. And eventually you will find the freedom in that. And you'll be aware of that and just be able to just let go. And that's when the character is really going to find you. And that is what casting and directors, I promise, are looking for. So just trust. For this week's business segment, I'd like to bring up that I know I did a quick COVID episode last week before the other episode, but Netflix has just announced that they are going to require COVID-19 vaccinations on all U.S. production. The move, which applies to Zone A, which is anybody who is an actor or has contact with an actor on film and TV sets, and this comes as the Delta variant is spreading. So they have every right to do this. I know some people think that they don't, but they actually do. They're the first major studio actually to institute a blanket vaccination policy. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. I have the right to my opinion. You have the right to yours. But I want to work with other vaccinated cast and crew. I feel safer on set, and I think this is an amazing, wonderful step forward that Netflix is not, being wishy-washy about it. They're just putting their foot down. They're saying, like, this is for our U.S. productions because they can't require it everywhere. For instance, like Greece, they still don't have access to vaccinations. We're very spoiled in the U.S. I have friends in Australia in my age range that still have not been vaccinated because their age range is not eligible yet. And so, we are way ahead of the curve. And I think we have a responsibility to keep that, keep it down wherever we can. And to, if we are going to keep working, to work responsibly and safely. This episode is sponsored by weaudition.com. I was super excited that I was able to help Darren, who's one of the founders of We Audition, with an audition the other week, and he booked it. Of course he booked it. I was not surprised. When we finished with our session, I was like, man, if this guy does not book it, like there's something wrong. Like the producer's giving it to a friend, because this guy nailed it. But it was so much fun to coach with him and to work with him on the role. And then I cannot wait, because I got to sit there and, every time I get to see an actor's process in an audition, and then I get to see their performance, it makes me so giddy. And you can become a part of that by becoming part of the We Audition community. And you can join with a promo code HAG25, HAG25, for 25% off of your lifetime membership to this wonderful actors community. That's weaudition.com, promo code HAG25. That leads us into the segment that We Audition is sponsoring, which is our survival. I worked with another actor this week, and she was really talented. I really had almost nothing to say when she was like, well, what do you think? Should I change anything? I was like, no, like you're hitting everything. Objective, subtext. Like she's obviously, and she's a working actor too, but it's been a minute since she's worked, and she is struggling with self-tapes. And it got to a point where she told me, she's like, I have nothing left to give. Like, I'm just sending the take that we just did, which, I mean, she had done a great take 10 takes ago, but she was second guessing herself, not because of even her acting, because occasionally you could hear a neighbor or an ambulance would go by, or somebody closed the door in the hallway, and she would think of those takes as, well, that doesn't work because there was a noise, or her dog got up and you heard the rattle of the collar. As part of your survival, let me just let you know, as somebody who's been watching a lot of audition tapes and talking to a lot of producers and casting directors, they don't care. When they are on Twitter and saying, isn't it great as an actor, you have all this time to put together your best take, which is a naive thing for a casting director to say, but they do kind of have a point, you can do more than one take. You can spend an hour, refining it versus just doing it once or twice in the room. I get what they're trying to say, but what they don't mean by that is everything has to be perfect, like it was shot in a studio. If we hear your dog, we don't care. I have this one actress where you could obviously hear that one of her kids was playing, or maybe her husband or boyfriend, I don't know, was playing a video game in the background. It was faint but very obvious, but she was great and she got the call back. When they say make your tape great, they are only talking about the performance. They need to be able to see you, so your lighting has to be decent and your sound has to be decent, but everything comes down to the performance. So you need to let this perfect technical BS go, because just because somebody has a technically perfect tape and you have to tape in a hotel room and there's a party down the hall and you just have to get it in, if your performance is the best, you're getting the call back, you're booking the role, not the person that had like a perfectly quiet, technically pristine tape. It's still coming down to the performance. So you need to let go of this perfection in your technical stuff, because it matters a little bit, but not to the point where if you hear a neighbor's door closed, the self-tape is ruined. It is not ruined. If your performance is on point, that is the take you send in. So let go of all of that, all of the rest of that noise, and just focus on the performance. I can't tell you how many audition takes I've sent over the years where my cat meowed in it because he likes to talk. And nobody has ever rejected my tape because they're like, oh, 3 minutes and 10 seconds in, I think I heard a cat. None of them. And they're making a decision within the first 10 seconds if you're getting the call back anyway. And most of them are not even watching your entire audition tape. So, get that first 10 seconds pristine, and who cares what your neighbors do in the rest. Just get her done. And that's it. That's all I got for you this week. Break a leg out there, and remember, you are not alone.